Okay, welcome to this video tutorial for the Holden Opel Vauxhall Tigra, and let's have a look at the instrumentation and the interior of the vehicle in this video. Okay, so we'll start over the passenger side over here, and the only thing really to note here is the power window operation here, which is pretty straightforward as you'd expect. It's actually fast glass, so you can click it to a certain part and it will release. The actual operation on the actual seat adjustment, you can slide them forward with this handle here, and there's also this action here which allows us to adjust the height of the seat. There's also on the inside, and this is different to the Corsas or the Barinas as opposed to the Tigra, the actual release for the seat to be tilted forward so we can access our rear storage compartment is located here on the inboard side of the car. On the it's quite curious that on the Barinas it's actually on the outboard side. Down here is our adjustment for the angle of the seat, which allows us to obviously adjust the thing. We've also got little tabs here which allow us to change the height of the headrest. Okay, so that's the sort of mundane stuff out of the way. Let's start her up and have a look at this the actual computer that comes with the Tigra. So it's actually pretty cool. Oh, we've got a bit of sunlight in there. Let's do it like this. Okay, and so you can see that we've actually got an instant consumption there. We've got the date, time, and also the range, so it's really accurate. I've been down to single digits of fuel left in the tank and still made it to the petrol station, so I'm in the fuel station, so I'm fairly confident that they're actually pretty good. Now the actual controls for these are down here, located here, and amongst this part. It's a little bit confusing for mine, but I've got used to it over the years. The one we're after here is BC, which I take it in English is supposed to translate as body computer. And that then is released, it got us into this set of displays here for the actual onboard computer. We can then arrow down, and we see that there's actually two different settings here, or two different computers, memory banks you can use. There's also a trip timer as well if you want to start and reset that. So let's have a look here at the detail on this, on the actual body computer, and what we've got there. It's really cool. You can go in and actually reset that at any time using that option there. And we've just arrowed that forward like that, and there we go, it's zeroed. But what we'll do is we'll go down and have a look at the display for the number 2. So as you can see there, total distance travelled, the average speed that you've travelled on that trip, and then below that, the amount of fuel precisely you've used, and the average fuel consumption. So that's really good, and you see there that this vehicle over the past 3,000 k's has averaged 6.3 litres per 100, which is actually really tidy for a car of this type. Now, what else have we got here in the instruments? The actual vents are pretty cool. I really like the operation of these because they do fully close, and you can so that you can fully direct the air in these as you wish. It's a very flexible system here. Same goes for the outboard ones here. And here as well is the actual hazard light flashing away there. And what else we got there? We got our main button to turn our hi-fi on. I've actually got this set so it's actually respectful of the tuner. Let's go back to tuner display. So we go back to the tuner display, and you can see there that we've got our frequency setting there, and we can then do our tuning of channels using this operation here, doing micro changes here, bass treble type operations. It's simply with these buttons here to actually display it, and then we use the up and down arrows to actually change the setting of those. Let's not worry about that too much. CD player, as was the Vogue back in the day. We've also got settings here. The only one that I fiddle around with there is that you can actually change the ignition logic so that the vehicle will turn on the hi-fi and the FM when you actually switch it on, or it can switch it off so it disrespects the ignition logic, which is my favourite as well, so I can get some peace and quiet while driving. Okay, down here we've also got the air conditioning controls with the fan setting there, obviously the direction of that air as you wish. We've also got here the air conditioning main switch, rear window demister, and recirculate for the air conditioning. Further down in here we've got a little bit of a tidy bin. I've actually got a USB power thing here, but that's your cigarette lighter adapter there, and I'll push that back in because we like our USB power. And a little knick-knack here, I don't know whether you noticed it here, I'm a big fan of blue tack. My friends make a lot of fun of it, but this here is actually some blue tack, which is pretty good for sticking your GPS or your smartphone running Google Maps into that position, so you've got guidance as you travel. Okay, steering wheel controls. There you go. They've got that's the channel up and channel down with the hi-fi with the FM AM, which is pretty useless as far as I'm concerned because I've never used it a great deal. Airbag in the boss here. We've also got horn obviously, Down here as well, you've got a plus and minus volume, so increase and decrease the volume, and you've also got on and off there for the actual hi-fi itself. Around here in the Tigra, oh look at this lighting, it's really mucking me around here. Let's go over the top here. This is actually your stalk for the beams, for your turn indicators. It's on the left-hand side, of course, being a European car. And we've also got on the end of the stalk here as well, the master switch for turning on the cruise control, set and or decrease the speed, and the nodule out is increase or reset the speed. So those are fairly handy there as well. The cruise control really works a treat. Turn indicators, as I said, as you'd expect on the left-hand side as a European car. Over this side, we've got the windscreen wipers. We've got a pull it forward to actually wash the windows, and the key goes in there. Down here, a couple of knickknacks that you find are typical in European cars. First of all, this one here is a little bit of a rare one with the Japanese cars, but here it is on the European car. That's actually a dip for the actual headlights. So in icy conditions, I believe you are supposed to dip your lights, your actual main lights, a little bit more. This one here is a switch for fog lights. This one here is additional driving lights, which is pretty cool. And this one here is your rotator to dim the dashboard as well. You've also got, this is a bit of a tricky one too. Look at this. So we've got our park setting and our actual drive setting, or our full light setting. Now this is the tricky one here. Look at this. This is actually the operation. We've pushed that in, and there's our overhead lights. All right. So that's well hidden unless you know about it. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. Okay. Over here, getting down towards the end of the actual controls, covered in another tutorial, the operation of the remote boot. So that'll pull that up, will release the boot. Watch the other video for operation of the roof. And these ones here, that's a passenger side and driver side window release. Here also we've got our push down controls here, so we can then adjust the position of the mirrors. Push down on this side to do the right hand side. Well, we won't bother with that. And to do those, to position those, we've also got a central locking button there. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Here's a little thing. There's something to watch out for. It's a 5-speed manual box. Here we go to get in reverse. This little collar under here is really, really important, because that's the one that controls you getting across in reverse. Let's just do that. So there we go. Just dropped into reverse, back to position. And obviously, other than that, is a standard 5-speed box, but just be wary of this little collar under here that's going to stop you from getting across the reverse real easy. Handbrake, obviously, pretty straightforward, as we'd expect. Seat belts, we won't bother with that. That's all for now. There's also a toggle on the mirror here for night and daytime for dimming. There's also overhead. There's actually vanity mirrors here on the actual overheads here as well. Okay, that's the interior of the Holden Tigra pretty much done. Yeah, airbags, both sides, looking after your safety there in the event of an accident. God help you won't be. But that's it for this tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed having a look at the instrumentation in the interior of the Holden Tigra, otherwise known as a Opel Tigra or a Vauxhall Tigra as well. Enjoy.